Welcome to Super Agents Live. This is the one place where you can come and hear the most successful people in real estate. You'll hear how these super agents built their businesses, how they stay productive, and how they stay motivated. Who am I? My name's Toby Salgado, and I made my first million in real estate. And I'm your host for the next 30 minutes while we talk to yet another amazing real estate entrepreneur. Stay tuned.
Let's go! Yeah!
Hello, I'm your host, Toby Salgado. Thank you so much for listening to Super Agents Live. Today on the show, we have something special. Our next guest is a super agent, an author, and TV celebrity. I am thrilled to introduce Josh Flagg. Josh,
how are you?
Josh has been in real estate since he was in high school and is a main feature on the hit show $1 Million Listing. Using his high-end niche, Josh closed $200 million in sales volume last year. And today, he's going to share his words of wisdom. Hey, Josh, thanks for taking the time out.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So I've given a brief overview of your background, but maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Well, I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I'm a fourth-generation Los Angelino. I started when I was 18. Actually, when I was in high school, I started selling high-end real estate. I was licensed when I was 18, and I have done probably close to $1 billion in sales in the last 10 years. So this is my 10th year selling real estate.
Unbelievable. I mean, just this meteoric rise. So you've been at this. This is your whole career. You've certainly seen a lot of things. What do you think the biggest hurdle real estate entrepreneurs have to overcome to be successful?
Well, not so much anymore for me, but what I would say when I first got in the business was my age. You know, being young, that was probably the hardest thing to get by. But over the years, my track record, that things changed.
No kidding. Well, your numbers are just astounding. Were you always selling high-end properties, or did you migrate to there?
No, I've always done high-end properties. In fact, I'm in a lovely home right now in Bel Air, $9.3 million house, doing an open house. It's brokers open today.
Huh. Well, I talk to a lot of people, and when this type of question comes up, what I've heard over and over again is that people sort of migrate to real estate, or they sell houses similar to the house that they currently live in. How did you reach out and go for a $10 million house for your first sale, for example?
Well, my first sale was about $6 million. The most important thing is that you know the market and you know the inventory. And I always knew everything that was happening in Bel Air and Beverly Hills. And because of that, I was able to go on a listing appointment and impress the sellers enough to get the listing. So that's the most, I always tell everybody, I do classes sometimes for people. And I mentor people, through my website, through joshflagg.com. And what I always tell people is the most important thing is you have to know your inventory, and you have to know what's going on better than anybody, better than your competition, because that's what's going to get you the listing, and that's what's going to get you the sale.
So let's say that you know the inventory really well. You know that market.
Right.
And you're an 18-year-old guy, or let's say somebody else, maybe they're a 28-year-old person. How do you get an appointment with the person who wants to list their house, or how do you find those people?
You have to market yourself. I always do. I'm very big on mailers, and I'm very big on email blasts. If you farm a certain area, that's the best way to do it. If you don't stay in that exact area, then it makes no difference. It's going to make no difference. You have to stay in one certain area, and you have to stick to that area, and you have to be consistent, and you have to mail multiple times a month.
So you do both email and print marketing.
And also Los Angeles Times.
And where are you seeing the best ROI?
In terms of what?
Well, you're spending money in the paper, on mailers, and email blasts. You certainly want engagement from those channels. Where are you seeing the most, number one, engagement? And then secondarily, where are you seeing that you're getting listings from?
I would say probably from the newspaper ads. Everybody looks in the newspaper still, when they're looking for a house, regardless or not if they're on the internet. So I would say definitely from my full page ads in the LA Times.
I'm sorry, did you say full page ads?
Yeah, I take full page ads out.
Wow. Well, that's not something that most people can do.
Okay, well then I would say for most people, well, it's really not that expensive actually. I mean,
Really?
if you work for a major company, they buy things in bulk. So like if you work for Coldwell Banker, for instance, they get a bulk rate because they buy so many ads in the paper. So it's really not as expensive as it sounds.
Would you mind sharing what that would cost?
I don't know what market. It depends what
gotcha.
market they're in. It's completely different everywhere.
Okay. So this is a question that I ask normally, and with your background, it may not apply, but let me ask it.
Mm-hmm.
So, was there ever a time where you felt like it was just too hard and you wanted to quit? And how did
No.
you? There was.
No,
No.
it was never.
Got it.
I love it too much.
I thought so. Well, so again, you mentor people. You see a lot of agents out there banging around trying to find success. What do you think the single biggest thing is that most realtors get wrong?
Again, what I said that not knowing the inventory. I think that's what people, if you don't know the inventory, then you're screwed. That's the most important thing. You have to know the inventory. And most people don't know the inventory. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what is sold off market, what is sold to who's bought it, how much they paid for it, what the reason for them selling. That's all the important stuff. And I think that's, people go into listing meetings and they don't know that. And I think that's the reason why they don't get the listing, because they can't, show off to the seller all their impressive knowledge.
So now, and you're talking. I sense that you're talking about having information that you can't just get off the MLS or something. I read some of a blog article or something that you wrote, and you said when you were younger, you would literally just drive up and down the street and look at these houses. How does a person get that kind of inside detailed information that you're talking about?
Well, there's two different ways. First, there's the title company. I weekly speak to the title company, and I get a report of everything that's sold in whatever area I'm farming. So I can see everything that's closed off market as well as on market. And then, of course, also on the multiple listing service, I get updates daily. And every agent has access to the multiple listing service.
Well, and earlier you said, hey, you should know who is selling and why they're selling it. Do you actually speak with people and find that out? And how do you do that?
No, what you do is you speak with other agents. You have to have a good relationship with all the agents in town. You have to. I do networking meetings all the time with brokers, and we sit down, 20 of us, the top brokers in town, and we talk about what's going on, who's looking around, who's buying, who's selling, why they're looking around, who they're looking with. So we really just know everything that's happening. That's the most important thing. You have to know what's going on. Got you.
So for you, Josh, can you tell us about that first breakthrough deal or that first aha moment that you had?
The first breakthrough deal. It wasn't. I mean, it's not really an interesting story. I hate to, bore you, but it was a sale. It was a $6 million house, and well, actually, I guess it's kind of interesting. I saw the guy actually standing outside his house, and I pulled down the window and I said to him, "Hey, were you looking to sell your house? I've seen this house on the market before and it expired." And he said, "Yeah." And I came in the house and I talked to him, and that's how I got the listing.
So was that intentional? Did you know that it was an expired listing?
No. Well, I knew it was expired because I knew the market, I knew the inventory, I knew what was going on, but it was just coincidental that I was driving by.
So how do you get listings today? I mean, I'm sure, and don't say referral. Other than referral, I'm sure you have a fantastic referral business.
Well, like I said, there's the ads that I do in the LA Times that people see them all the time and weekly, so that definitely registers with people's name. My name registers with people, and then I do the mailings, and that's really, it's all about marketing. It's about mailings and it's about advertising, and people being familiar with your name. So that's how you get. Then, of course, referrals.
Right. It seems to me, and probably to a lot of people in the audience, that you just had it easy, right? And so
that's true.
Is it true?
No, that's not true. I mean, I still had to do it. Yeah, of course. Obviously, it helped that I'm from Los Angeles. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm born and raised here. Obviously, that didn't hurt. But you could put me any state, any city, anywhere, and if you know the market and you know the inventory, I know tons of agents that are tons of the top agents in Los Angeles are not from here. they became successful, and they're not from Los Angeles. So, people can say, I had it easy. Of course, obviously it was. I'm not saying it didn't help. Obviously it did, but I don't think that I would have been any less successful had I come from New York or from Phoenix or from a different place.
Right. Well, again, I talk to lots and lots of really successful people, and on a high level, there's a couple things that I've seen. Right. So, if you want to sell 100 million, 50 million, or $100 million, number one, you need to be in a market that has high-end listings. So that Manhattan, Malibu, Beverly Hills, Aspen. And number two, most of the time, those people have been in the industry for like 40 years. And that's why your story is really interesting, that you 10 years and you've just, you came out swinging and you're still doing it. What do you know now that you wished you would have known when you started?
What I probably would have done when I started is I would have started establishing better relationships with the agents, because I didn't realize how important that was back then. But before then, it was just competition. It's like whoever gets the house. But I think it's important to really keep the relationships with the agents. Not that I don't have that, but I'm saying I would have started a lot younger, establishing those relationships and building them. My business would have taken off faster. That's what I would say. Because clients, they come and they go, but brokers, they're there forever. They always stay in the business, and they're the people that you really have to deal with on a daily basis.
Got you. Speaking about your daily basis, I mean, you have a lot of stuff going on. As I mentioned in the intro, you are on TV, you're an author, and you're still knocking down big houses. How do you stay productive and focused on a day-to-day basis?
It's hard. I mean, it's really, really hard. And don't forget, I'm filming almost every day too, which is a lot of energy. People don't realize how much energy goes into that. I mean, I have a routine. I wake up and I just go at it all day. I go to work and I just don't stop.
Well, can you talk to us about that routine? I mean, do you do time blocking in the morning or?
No, I don't do it. No, I mean, when I go into the office, I start just the day starts and I don't start. I don't go out for social lunches. It's just all about business until when I get home at night.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Josh, can you tell me the biggest lesson you've learned in your business selling real estate?
Biggest lesson I've learned, again, what I said about keeping relationships with agents and knowing the market, knowing the area, knowing what's going on. Those are the two most important things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you share with our audience one thing that it's working for you in your business right now?
What is working in my well, a lot of these questions are the same answers. It's direct marketing. That's what it is. It's mailing out to certain areas and keep mailing to those areas and not mailing to thousands of different areas because one piece here, one piece there in the mail. You have to just mail mass amounts to a certain area so people familiarize yourself with them. That's the best way, and it always works. People, if they recognize your name, then they're going to call you.
So mailers, you talked about email blasts, LA Times advertisements. What about social media? How do you use Facebook or?
I mean, for my business, it doesn't. You mean like Zillow and those kind of things? Well, yeah. I mean, that obviously those upload from the multiple listing service regardless. That's no matter what. But in terms of selling houses through Facebook and Twitter, that doesn't really help me. Especially, I mean, the price range that I'm selling, it doesn't really. I don't know. I don't think it affects my business, but I still have I have people working for me that are constantly updating onto my Twitter and my Facebook. But I don't know how many people are buying and selling houses over Twitter. But I could just be old-fashioned. I don't know. That's the way I do it is I open up the newspaper, I go on the multiple listing service, and I look for property. That's how whenever I'm looking for a house, that's what I do.
Okay. And again, we are getting some similar answers to these questions from you. But so let me ask this: what is something I didn't ask you, but I should have asked you?
I mean, I think that I conveyed everything to you. I think I told you all the. I think I pretty much gave you all the. I'm not a genius. I'm not super good at what I do. I know the market, and I know. And I'm dedicated, and I think you put those two ingredients together, and you can't fail. There's there's not some secret.
That's interesting, Josh. It is. This is a very different interview than what we normally hear, and it's intriguing.
So what do you hear mostly? People, what do they tell you?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. When we get off this, I'll send you some links, and you can listen to some of the people we've interviewed. And we've had some great guests. We've had Dave Jenks of the Real Estate Millionaire. We've had Pat Hyben. He's a $1 billion guy. Patricia Cliff. I don't know if you know any of these folks, but I'll send you some links, and I'd love some feedback. But we'll wrap this up with a couple more questions. If you could recommend only one book, what would it be?
A real estate book, or you mean
any kind of book? What's your favorite?
The Great
book?
Gatsby.
Great Gatsby. Okay, all right. Do you have an internet tool like an Evernote that you're in love with that you can share with our audience?
We use Evernote sometimes when I'm doing my speeches. I use Evernote for when I'm conducting online classes, mentoring people through joshflagg.com. Everybody will sign in through Evernote. Yeah, we will use Evernote.
Do you have a different internet tool?
No. I was going to say Evernote.
Oh, you were okay. Do you have any personal habits that you think that have contributed to your success?
Yeah, I'm very OCD, and I'm very determined, and I don't give up until I win or I beat it. You know.
Got it.
So that's probably it.
This next question, I think we all know the answer to, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What are the first 3 steps a new agent should do to begin building his business in the next 10 days?
It's the same answer. It's
yep.
marketing to the area that you want to farm.
Okay. And
you just send out lots and lots and lots of piecemeals to that area, and eventually, if you send that to 1 in 100 and one clicks, and you got one sale, then you've paid for it.
Right. Well, Josh, give us one piece of parting advice and let us know where we can find you, and we'll sign off.
You can find me at joshflagg.com. And my parting advice is know your area, know your market, know your inventory, and you'll be the best at what you do. All
right. Hey, Josh, well, you know what? Who else should we have on the show? Who do you think we should interview who can give us some good information?
Anyone who's a top producer in any different market, I would say. I don't really, I keep up with my peers that are doing what I do in Los Angeles, but I don't really, follow up with other agents from different states.
Okay.
But you could have my co-stars on the show.
I would love. I mean, would you let us intro us to them?
Sure. No problem.
That would be great. I will follow up with Will. Well, Josh, hey, thanks for taking the time out today. It's been really, really nice having you on the show, and we'll send you those links.
My pleasure. Thank you.
See you, Josh. Well, you heard it, folks. That was Josh Flagg stressing over and over again that you should know your inventory. And you know what? I actually hear that often. Choose an area and be dedicated and determined to know every scrap of data about that market area. In an earlier interview, I spoke with Patricia Cliff. Now, Patricia is in Manhattan, and she told me that she learns her inventory and market all the way down to trash truck schedules and routes. She can tell you when a particular street will be noisy and why traffic could be difficult. The other thing that Josh stressed was marketing. I found something interesting about Josh's marketing strategy. He doesn't do any social media and doesn't market himself or his properties on Zillow or Trulia. He does, however, use old school media, LA Times ads, albeit full page ads, and print media. It's interesting in Josh's high-end niche that he's using these marketing channels to the extent that he does. So for you out there, take a look at your marketing strategy. What have you tested? What's working for you and what's working for others in your market? This ties into that other thing that Josh said. He said that he wished he would have started forming relationships with other agents and brokers earlier. He does this to gain granular insight into the inventory in his market. He gets to know who's selling and why. Is this something that you are currently doing? I hope that you can take one thing away from this interview and implement it in your business today. If you've enjoyed this session as much as I have, please go to iTunes, subscribe, and give us a rating and review. Hopefully it's a 5-star rating. You know, we're early into this podcast journey, and all iTunes cares about at this point is ratings and reviews. So if you want to continue getting these free coaching sessions, please help us out by giving us a review and rating, as well as telling your friends. Please help us build this audience. Oh, by the way, if you do give us a rating and review, I'll definitely call you out on one of the next episodes. So until next time, I'm Toby Salgado, and I personally thank you for listening to Super Agents Live.